Hello everybody, welcome back to Creativerse. This is Beginner's Guide video number 2. Now in the first video we talked basically just about the title screen and all the different options you have for creating your own world, joining a friend's world, going into the different histories and searches and stuff like that and being able to get in the game. We also talked to you the first couple of times you play, you may just want to create a world and that way you're in here by yourself and you can kind of get a good feel for the game. Okay, so wherever you spawn in your world, I actually did go into a completely different world than I started going into in the last video. I actually set this with a password so that none of my friends can hop in and kind of mess up this video or anything like that. So regardless of that, you're going to start at some point in the game. A lot of times you're going to start in the forest and you're going to see a lot of trees around here like this. But you may also spawn right up on top of this mountain. It's going to be a random location in the world, basically. You could be up on top of a narrow mountain. Like, see how steep those cliffs are right there? And the problem is that if you spawn way up there and it's really hard to get down, even if you jumped off and committed suicide to kill yourself, you're not going to spawn down here somewhere. You're going to spawn right back up there on top again. So there's really no way to get down if you do that except to build or dig your way down. And that might be kind of difficult, especially with your limited power glove that you have to start with, and you need to, pull up some stone and stuff like that. So my recommendation is if you are up on a very narrow, steep mountain top, which has happened to me a couple of times, just go ahead and log out of your game, create a new world. And you can name it the same thing you did with that one. You can name it the exact same thing, but it will put you in the world again, and hopefully a different random location somewhere not so up high. Now another thing you want to do when you first spawn into the world, you want to take a look around at where you're at. And where I want you to be is where all these trees are in the forest, basically. Where you see a bunch of grass and shrubs and trees and stuff like that. So it's possible you could be over here somewhere, kind of closer to a desert or something like that, or you may be right in between. You may have a desert on one side of you and you can kind of see the trees in the distance. So let's say that you were way over here, kind of maybe you spawned right up here on top of this pile of sand or whatever, right? So rather than staying over there in the desert or the mountains or wherever it is, what I want you to do is look for where all the trees are at. So if you're back over here, I want you to come back this direction. Try to do it safely. Make sure you don't fall off of a cliff while you're jumping around. But come back and I want you to head for where you see most of the trees. And that's really where you want to be to start this game off. And the reason I tell you to go where the forest is because the forest is going to be your easiest place to acquire all the different materials and ingredients you'll need to craft all the stuff you'll be crafting in the game soon. So it's the best place to really start. Okay, so we're going to talk about the screen that you see now, okay, when you first log in. Okay, besides going to the forest, I need to talk about more basic stuff here. Okay, to move in the games like this, and pretty much any 3D game on the computer, it's going to be as simple as using your WASD keys. They call it WASD. And that's because you put your left hand on it and you hit with one, put basically your 3 fingers, your middle finger on your W key and then your other 2 fingers to the left and right of your middle finger on your A and D keys. Okay, that's how you kind of set your fingers. And then what you'll do is you hit W to move forward, you move that same finger backward, hit S to move backwards, and then you use your other 2 fingers to either hit the A or the D key. And in this game, that moves you left and right, sideways. Okay? So if you want to look around, it's as simple as moving your mouse to look all around. High, low, wherever you want to look. And that's pretty much the standard movement controls for any of these games. So I want to start off really basic and just kind of hit everybody that may not be familiar with this kind of game. And kind of help them out. So if this is going too slow for you, stay patient with me, please, because this is going to be really be directed at people that, may be really new to this kind of game entirely. All right. So once you're able to move through the world, you can hit Shift while you're hitting W, or while you're going backwards. You can hold down Shift at the same time, and that's going to actually move you faster. It's going to run. Okay. So notice that I'm running at a faster speed than if I just walk. And then your space bar is going to be your jump key. Alright? Your interact button in this game is the F key. It's right to the right of your D, so it's right there by your movement keys. So F is going to be your interaction key, and then your E key, which is right up to the right above your D key, that is going to be your inventory screen. That's how you access your inventory. It's some basic crafting and other features. Okay. So WASD, shift to run, space to jump. F is interaction with an object, and E is to open up your inventory. That should basically get you around. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the screen that you see in front of you. At the very top of the screen, you're going to see a compass. That's going to show you which direction you're headed. It can kind of help you navigate around, especially if you're not, real familiar with these kind of games, and kind of, can learn your way around easy if you get lost or whatever. So that's a compass. In the middle of the screen is your targeting cursor. Okay, so that's going to, if you're near something, it's going to, if you put your targeting cursor on it, it's going to show you what that item is. Okay, so that's just your targeting cursor. At the very bottom of the screen, you're going to see a gray bar. It's broken up into two different sections there. You see a tab section, and it looks like a sun-looking item, and it also looks like a sword. Those two spots there are blank. The sun-looking item is where any of your power cells will go that power your harvest glove. Basically, you start with some kind of futuristic harvest glove, and that's kind of what you can see on your hand there in front of you. So as you gather up materials with that power glove, you're going to come to materials that you can't gather unless you actually craft a higher end power cell to put in that sun spot. Now when you first start the game, you don't have a power cell at all, and you can only gather basic materials like dirt, grass, wood, leaves, and things like that. Okay. Now the weapon slot right next to it is where you would have any weapon that you've crafted. Everybody's going to start this game just carrying a basic twig, so even though I don't see a twig in that slot, I do have a basic twig to fight with. And if I want to get from my harvest mode, which I am now, and you can tell I'm in harvest mode by looking at the sun little spot there, and I see the red border around it that's highlighting what mode I'm in. So to get into my attack mode or use my weapon, I would simply need to hit my tab key. That's shown to you right below those two icons there. It says tab. So hit tab to move back and forth between harvesting materials and between fight mode and holding your weapon out. So now if I was to see an animal or need to attack something or somebody, I can simply left click my mouse button. Like I see a couple of pigs just appeared right under me. So if I attack with my left mouse button there, I'll swing the pig and I'll start a fight with this pig. It'll come after me, big ol' eyes and everything, and it's going to try to kill me because it's mad now because I hurt its feelings. Keep hitting it and it will eventually die, turn into a loot package. Now as I said earlier, the interaction button is your F key, or you can use your right mouse button to interact with anything as well at any time. So here it dropped a loot package for me. It's all wrapped up in a nice Christmas gift, it looks like. Put your targeting cursor on it. You notice right below my compass I see an orange button there, and it basically shows me to interact with this present. Hit F or the right mouse button, so it always kind of tells you what to do. So once you do that, it's going to open up all the stuff inside. This is all loot that was on that pig. I got a crystal shard, I got a sinew, and I got a bone. I can either choose one of these items and hit take item here, or I can just take all of them. To start off with, you're probably going to want to take everything, because everything, or most things in these loot packages, are stuff that's going to be useful in crafting. So once you take your items, the loot package will disappear. Notice now that it is starting to become night, and you may log into to a world you create the very first time, and it might be pitch dark like this, or even darker. It may be light, you just don't know. Now one thing you need to be aware of when it is dark is any animals like this that kind of glow in the dark. Those are your night versions of monsters, and they are aggressive, so you kind of want to stay away from those until you get more familiar with the game. But as the darkness falls, it's going to start spawning, instead of these regular pigs, instead of spawning randomly around like you did, appeared randomly in the world, you will see kind of glow in the dark looking creatures, and those creatures are always going to be aggressive, and they'll come after you if you get too close to them. Okay, so you got to keep your eyes out for that at night. Just like that item over there, it's kind of a glow in the dark. You can kind of see that it has a glow in the dark feature, and that's actually a specter. Those floating creatures are called specters, and they're basically the same thing as Minecraft's creepers. When they get close to you, they will actually blow themselves up, commit suicide, and try to damage you. So be sure you stay away from those to start with. Those are specters, and probably one of the more dangerous night creatures that you'll come across early on. I want to go ahead and continue talking about the screen though, because we haven't went over everything yet. All we've basically went over is hitting tab to go between harvest mode and attack mode. Okay? And those two slots can actually hold inventory items that you craft later on, whether it be a power cell here or whether it be a weapon that you craft later on. Okay? To the right of these two items, you're going to see 6 more hotbars icons, and they kind of look like they have a black lightning bolt inside of them. That means that they're empty. There's nothing in those. But those are basically going to be your usable, accessible items that you can put into your hotbar from your inventory. And you can do that at any time. So to open up your inventory, like I said again, you're going to hit your E button. This opens up your inventory screen, and it's going to show all your items in your inventory. So any usable items that I could use at any time, for example, potions I could drink, mushrooms which I could eat to heal my health, and so forth, can go down in your hotbar. If I try to drag an item, you can drag anything from your inventory down to your hotbar to make it usable at any time, and you pretty much have to use those items. They have to be in your hotbar. Notice this item here, sinew, which says nature's rubber bands, kind of gives a description about it. If you put your mouse over it, great for binding things together. Animals typically keep some around. So if I try to drag this sinew down to my hotbar, notice it doesn't want to go there. That's because this is not a usable item by itself. It's simply a material I can use to craft things with later on. I can't directly use this item by itself. But when you first start the game, you do actually have 2 items that can be used, and that's your teleporter and your port crystal. In fact, those are the only 2 items you'll actually start any new world with, is your teleporter and your port crystal. So let's go ahead and move those 2 items down to our hotbar right now. To move an item down to a hotbar, you can either hold your left mouse button down and drag it to whatever slot you want. Here I have a choice. Any of those green lightning bolt means that I can place this teleporter there. Notice that by comparison, if I try to drag something that I can't use or I can't put in the hotbar, I don't get those green symbols. They don't light up green, right? So that means this item is not usable. Same thing here. I start to drag it, and nope, I don't have any green symbols. I can't use that. Okay, so let's go ahead and drag your teleporter down to your hotbar. And another thing you can do is just simply right-click it. If you have any free hotbar slots available, when you right-click an item in your inventory, it's going to pop down into the lowest available one. To move items back into your inventory, simply right-click them as well. They will go back to your inventory. So right-click to move those easily back and forth, or you can drag them. Well, we're going to talk about the inventory screen some more here in just a minute. But right now, I want you to go ahead and hit back, or hit your E button again, to move back out of your inventory. Now I can see the world again, and I see that in my hotbar now I have 2 usable items. First, my teleporter and my blue teleporting gem. So once you get to the forest and you've moved to the forest and you're here, right, and you're in a good spot, you see maybe some pixies around, you see a lot of different cool looking things around. I see some yellow flowers, I see some different things over there. So I'm in a cool spot. I want to go ahead and put a teleporter down here, and that way if I ever get lost or I ever die or anything like that, I can always come right back to my teleporter. So to place your teleporter, go ahead and highlight it in your hotbar. To do that, either move your mouse wheel, and you can keep moving your mouse wheel, and it's going to rotate and cycle through your hotbar back and forth as you move it up and down. Or you can simply hit the corresponding key on your keyboard. As you see, the teleporter is in the 1 slot. I can hit the number 1 on my keyboard, and it'll highlight. Once you have the teleporter highlighted and you're in the forest, I want you to go ahead and right-click on wherever you want to place your teleporter. So move your cursor around until you find a nice spot to put it. It has to be close to you, and you'll see a green border at any spot that you can place it. Notice that if I try to put it way over there, I'm too far away and I don't see a green border, so I can't place it that far. I can't throw it, clear across the meadow here. Now, even if this border is red, for example, I can still place this item. So basically, like for example, well, we'll just go ahead and place it. So just go ahead and find a place to put your teleporter, and then make sure you're highlighted on your teleporter in your hotbar. again with your mouse wheel or by hitting the key, and then right click. Again, right click is your interaction button, so right click to place that teleporter. Now you see how cool it looks? This is a place that we can actually teleport to at any given time. So if I run off and I get lost, or let's say I go, oh no, I see a night pixie there, look at it, dangerous, because I know it's going to be more dangerous and aggressive because it's kind of glowing in the dark, and I can see that from this distance. So I'm getting scared now. I don't want to fight this thing. All you need to do is go to your blue teleport gem that hopefully you move down to your hotbar now, and highlight that, either again with the mouse wheel or by hitting the number 2 key on your keyboard. Again, right click to interact with that object. And once I do that, I get this screen up here. It shows teleport, and it's going to show all the different teleporters in my world. I'm the only one playing right now in my world, so my name is the only option here. Now when you play in multiplayer worlds, you may have several people with different teleporters down at different spots in the world, and you could use those to teleport to any location you wanted to. Keep in mind that every player can only have one teleporter at any given time at any spot in the world. So you only get one teleporter. So once you highlight your teleporter, go ahead and select teleport, and you hear that sound, and now I've teleported from up there right back here to my teleporter. Okay, and you can do this as many times as you want. It doesn't use any kind of resources, doesn't cost anything like that. You can do that as freely and as much as you want to. Alright, let's say though that I decided, you know what, I don't want my teleporter here, I want my teleporter right here instead. Right? Simply find the new spot you want it, highlight your teleporter again on your hotbar, and click it. Notice it's moved from there to here because I can't have 2 teleporters, I can only have one, so when you replace it, it's going to place it at the new location. Alright? So now I can freely get here if I ever get lost or whatever. I can always come right back here to where my teleporter's at, and that's a pretty nice feature. Alright? Now again, we know that where the red border is highlighting now, right above tab, that's our power cell block. That shows us any power cells we have in our power glove, which I have none. Tab moves us to our weapon slot to pull out whatever weapon we have equipped there. And then the hotbar is the 6 slots to the right of that and shows any usable items that we've dragged down or that are placed in our hotbar. Sometimes when you gather materials in the world, they'll go automatically down to a free spot in your hotbar. Okay? So that's our hotbar. To the direct right of that at the bottom, you'll see 2 little circles. One shows like a yellow lightning bolt. That is our stamina. And to the bottom of that is a heart, which basically shows our health. So that bar shows that we have a little bit of health missing, but we still have most of our health. You can see the empty vial there at the end. It shows that it's a little bit empty. Okay, so above our health right now, we show stamina. It looks like I'm actually out of stamina. If you look at it, I'm like, I don't see a bar there. Well, when you don't see an empty vial to the right of that, kind of like the outline you see on the very end of the health bar, that means you're full of stamina. And to verify that, I can actually do as I said. I can run by holding shift down and moving. So if I hold shift down and move, I'm going to run, and you'll see that my stamina is actually running out. You'll also use stamina while holding shift and jumping, okay, because you'll jump further. When your stamina runs all the way out, see, this is the difference. If you look at it now, I'm moving slower because I'm out of stamina. I can only walk, but you'll see that you kind of see the outline there by the stamina, and it's not filled up. There's nothing there. So that's the difference between just looking at it when it's full and looking at it when you're out of stamina. You see that empty outline by the stamina. I have no stamina now. To start regaining stamina, I need to let go of my shift button. I'm still holding shift right now. So to regain stamina, simply let go of your shift so you're not trying to run. And even if you're walking or standing still, you're going to regain your stamina as it's building back up now. Okay, so that's how that works, and that's kind of a thing that I didn't know about when I first started. I saw the watch it when it gets full here. It'll actually go back to not showing any bar at all, but I don't see that empty outline there with the stamina. I do have full stamina because I don't see that empty outline. So when I first started playing this game, I thought I was out of stamina when it looked just like it does right now, when in fact I actually had a full bar. As you see, I'm running again and I have a full bar. Okay, kind of an inside joke there though with the friends I have on Steam and everything about that. To the right of the health bar and your stamina indicator is basically, it looks like a backpack and the letter E. That's basically just a help indicator to let you know that E is how you access your inventory. Notice how when I hit E to access my inventory, that went away. Okay, so hit E again to go back to the world, or you can hit the back button up here. Alright, above that, above the E in your health and stamina bars is a big box. You kind of see a big clear box. That is basically your chat window, and it's kind of helpful when you're playing with somebody else in your world, or you're playing online with other players. So it's a good way to talk with the chat. Now, a lot of times people online will want to use Skype or a program called TeamSpeak, so you can use your headset and microphones to talk to each other by voice. But if you don't have that, you don't have a way to talk by voice, and you're online and you want to talk to somebody in the world, you can chat. To do that, you simply hit your enter key to go into your chat window and type whatever you want to say. Hi, my name is Xtra99, and then hit enter, and it'll go up into the box, and now you see that I've told everybody in the world, hi, my name is Xtra99. Now, obviously nobody's going to say anything back because there's nobody else in my world to talk with me. But that's how you would chat. Now, if you're just going to play the world by yourself for a while, you may find that box a little bit distracting, and you want to get rid of it. To get rid of that box, all you need to do is hit the Alt key on your keyboard. It's ALT, the Alt key. Hit that, and it'll give you an empty cursor. It'll kind of freeze up your screen so you're not looking back and forth or looking all around. And all you need to do now is simply left click on this red button here. Once you do that, you'll get rid of your chat window, and that'll be gone for you. To get back so you can look around, just hit the Alt key again, and now I'm free to look around again, and I've got rid of my chat window. So with that, I think that's pretty much good enough for video number 2. We're pretty much going long here. We kind of talked about the interface here once you get into the world, and kind of head towards the forest in this video. We're going to be back with video number 3 here real soon. Be sure you subscribe if you haven't. Be sure to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. You can do that by going into the upper right of this video. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Be sure you subscribe if you haven't. And be sure you go to my YouTube page and leave me a comment if you have any questions or comments you want to leave for me. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you in Beginner's Guide number 3 real soon.